You know how some people just walk into a room and command respect without even trying? In a meeting, at a party, they just have this presence. Well, today we're diving into what our source material calls the apex mindset. And let me tell you, it's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's about a framework for earning respect through some serious, quiet, internal discipline. Getting this down can totally change the game for you. At work, in relationships, you name it.
Wow. Okay, so this quote really gets right to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? The source material is basically saying that the very things a lot of us do to be liked, being super nice, always being available, being the entertainer, are the exact things that make our value just plummet in other people's eyes. It's a pretty wild idea. So let's break down why that might be.
And this slide just lays it all out, side by side. On the left, you've got the stuff we see all the time. Cracking jokes nonstop, being on call 24/7, jumping in to fill every single pause in a conversation. But on the right, you see the alternative that the source proposes, having a grounded presence, making your attention something people have to earn, and actually using silence as a tool. This is the foundation for the 5 power moves we're about to get into.
So this brings us to what the source calls the respect paradox. And it's that super frustrating feeling where it seems like the harder you try to get people to like you, by being the funny one, the agreeable one, the less actual respect you get in return. It feels totally backward, but I'm willing to bet a lot of us know exactly what that feels like.
Okay, so here is the absolute key takeaway. The source material is pushing this idea that real, true influence isn't about what you say, it's about the presence you have. It's about your internal state being so solid, so self-assured, that it communicates your worth for you way before you even open your mouth. This is the bedrock of the entire mindset.
Let's get into the first power move, which the source calls force in focus. Now, this has nothing to do with physical strength, okay? We're talking about developing an internal, a psychological force that just projects this quiet confidence and self-respect. It means you just don't need anyone else's approval. Think about it like this. You're in a big meeting. There's one person who's been talking the whole time, and another who's barely said a word. But when that quiet, observant person finally decides to speak, the whole room goes silent. Everyone leans in. That's the psychological force in action. It's a presence that signals your words have weight because you don't waste them.
All right, next up, we've got 2 moves that are really tied together. They both revolve around the power of what you don't give away for free: scarcity and silence. This is where, according to the source, your nonverbal cues and your attention become these incredibly powerful tools for getting respect, all because you start treating them like they're actually valuable.
This is a fascinating concept. The source material basically suggests that your eyes communicate everything about what's going on inside. They can broadcast confidence and certainty, or they can broadcast weakness and neediness. And this brings us to a really specific technique it calls the eye contact game.
So here's the deal with this game. Holding calm, steady eye contact is framed as a signal of high value, of certainty. The source claims that when you look away first, you're subconsciously signaling that you doubt yourself or your own worth. It's described as this form of silent self-assurance, where you assert your value without having to be aggressive at all.
Move number 3 is all about creating value through scarcity. I mean, think about it. If you're always the one to answer a text in 2 seconds or say yes to every last-minute plan, people just start to take you for granted. It's natural. The source advises a total shift. You have to prioritize your own mission, your own routine. This isn't about being rude. It's about signaling that your time and attention are precious resources that have to be earned. And that, in turn, makes people value their time with you way more.
And now for the last 2 moves, which are all about building what the source calls the warrior frame. This is the physical, energetic embodiment of all that internal discipline. We're not just talking about what you do in one conversation. This is about the consistent presence you project every single day.
Oh, this is a big one. You know that awkward pause in a conversation? Most of us feel this immediate tension and we just rush to fill it with, well, anything. The source says you should do the complete opposite. Own it. Embrace the silence. By doing that, you flip the whole dynamic and you put the pressure on the other person. This is called the pause of power.
And the magic number? It's just 1 to 3 seconds. After someone finishes talking, just wait. Hold that eye contact and stay silent for 1, 2, 3 seconds. The source claims this tiny pause creates this psychological vacuum that people feel this intense need to fill, and they often end up revealing way more than they planned. Plus, it makes your eventual response feel so much more thoughtful and impactful. This quote just perfectly tees up the final move. It's not good enough to just use these techniques every now and then. Real lasting respect, according to the source, comes from consistency. It's all about how you carry yourself day in and day out. That's what builds your warrior frame.
And here are the specific daily disciplines it recommends to build it. Waking up early, getting some kind of physical activity every day, and conscious body language, like walking with your shoulders open and having a clear focus in your eyes. These are all nonverbal signals that communicate discipline, control, and purpose to absolutely everyone you meet.
So, we've covered the 5 big moves, but the source makes a really good point. Knowing all this stuff is pretty useless if you don't do anything with it. And that's why it wraps everything up with a challenge, a way to turn these ideas into actual habits.
Okay, so let's just do a super quick recap. 1. Develop your internal psychological force. 2. Master the eye contact game. 3. Create scarcity by setting those invisible boundaries. 4. Use the 1 to 3 second pause of power. And 5. Build and maintain a consistent warrior frame every single day. Got it?
And here it is. The source challenges you to consciously practice these 5 moves for 2 weeks straight. The whole idea is that in just 14 days, you can start to fundamentally shift how you see yourself, and as a result, how everyone else sees you too.
So we're going to leave you with this final thought from the source material to really chew on. Whether you're talking or not, you're always communicating something. The real question is, what message is your present sending? What is your silence really saying about you?